This is a boomerang. Everything that happens on Housewives is a boomerang, and it will come back to you.
Welcome back to Access Hollywood's Housewives Nightcap. Today, we are here to break down all the tea for you guys. I am in Lake George celebrating my 30th birthday at the Butternut Lodge. And you guys, I took a break for you. Lauren, what's happening over there, girl?
Okay, I was gonna say, we get you're in a lodge, we get you're celebrating, but I have a binder. I am pulling a Monique because we are breaking down the first episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, and I got my binder, I got my tabs, and I'm ready to go.
We are going to welcome our first guest, Ashley Darby. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
I'm great. The baby is napping, so I'm just enjoying a little bit of quiet time.
We are so excited to have you. I have to tell you, I think you are so stunning.
That means so much to me because, part of what's interesting about this journey is seeing myself so much on television, and I start to become super critical, especially in the beginning. So you definitely go through a little bit of a acclimation, if you will, getting more comfortable seeing yourself so much on television, the good, bad, and the ugly, because, I'm not always looking my best.
Well, you also have this pregnancy glow going on. You look amazing. Tell us how the pregnancy is going.
Oh, thank you. I am so happy. I'm in my 7th month of pregnancy, so I have about 2 months to go. The baby is doing so well. It's very different being pregnant this time around simply because I have so much going on with Dean. He's about to start school, toddler school. So there's just so much going on in the works that I don't really have time to fixate on what's happening. Even when I have heartburn and stuff, I'm not thinking about it, so I don't even feel it as badly. I still feel it, but it's just not as much.
We need to get into the reunion. So
all right, let me get my water ready.
Yeah,
okay,
let's get the water.
Get your water ready. The
Yeah.
first part aired, and everybody's talking. So let's start off with, we're gonna break down 3 big moments that we felt stuck out. So number 1, Candiace started to throw shade at various things, and you kind of clicked back at her. Have you looked yourself in the mirror? You're looking at trash. Honestly, what is up with her horrible tweets? Why does she do this?
I don't really know why she's just not a happy person, I think. And I hate to say that simply because I don't like putting anyone down that way, but the way Candiace attacks is so negative, and she prides herself on that. And I just really didn't have time for it. I'm really in my pregnancy peace bubble, so even though, and I made a commitment to myself prior to the reunion. I was talking to my hair and makeup person, and I said, I am not going to raise my voice, and I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to be Hillary Clinton. I'm going to take the high road. Yeah, and it just didn't work out that way. But I really made a valiant effort until Candiace started popping off right at the beginning.
I mean, you had good intentions, and as I was watching that, I'm like, Ashley's very calm. Like, I would be throwing it right back at her. But does anyone, I know Andy asked about her tweets, like, why take Twitter away from her, honestly?
Yes. Honestly, I can't really get upset because that sort of energy is what a person like Candiace is asking for all the time. And when I'm pregnant especially, I just don't think it's fair to do that to the baby.
Why do you think Candiace is unhappy?
I just think that she's got a lot of growing to do. She seems to be at a transitional point in her life. And whether that be she's still working through things with her mom, or she's trying to find her footing and get her own independence in this life. I actually can't quite put my finger on it. But all I can say is that we will never have a good relationship, Candiace and I, until she finds more peace with herself and is not such a hurtful and negative person. I just can't have that around me. When Candiace and I started making some progress earlier in the season, that really was genuine. I felt like I could move forward with her. And then when I started seeing certain aspects of her personality peek through, and when it came about that I really needed to support Monique, who's a person who has been very supportive of me in the past, it was like all of those old feelings just came churning back up. So even though I tried to have a solid friendship with her, it just wasn't something that was possible.
You just brought up Monique, and our second big topic moment, I think the moment's gonna be this whole reunion, is her binder.
Yes.
She brings out that binder. She has the tabs of everyone, and my jaw is to the floor.
Guys, so before the reunion, I go into the dressing room and I'm just like, hey girl, like I just want to check in. How are you feeling? She's like, well, I'm feeling good. When bam, and pulls this binder out and my jaw dropped. I said, Monique, I thought she said she was gonna have receipts. She texted me and she said, don't worry, Ashley, I'll bring my receipts. So I'm thinking, okay, like she's gonna have a text message or two. Honey, I didn't know she was gonna have a whole accordion binder full of everything that had happened. Text messages. She had text messages from me in there. Yeah, and every tab was everyone's name. It's amazing.
Whoa. I'm thinking that this is Monique's version of a burn book here. Like she's got the receipts to everybody that's wronged her.
Yes, it's not even just wronged her, but anything that could potentially be used as used against her, she wants to make sure that, you know, she has it there so no one can twist any words or anything. She definitely came prepared with a capital P.
But I'm here for it. As a viewer, I'm like, bring out the binder.
Yes, we love the binder. We want more of the binder.
Yes, I will tell you that at some point it was like, okay, like Monique had a receipt for everything. So at some point it was like, okay, Monique, like we believe you because she had everything. You just knew that you couldn't question it. She definitely has it in there. Yeah.
So she alleges that Gizelle and Jamal's relationship is fake and fraudulent. What is your take on this?
Well, I have to tell you, that was really hard for me because I've been in a situation where my relationship was under fire. So I empathize with Gizelle. She hasn't been in this seat before. Like she's been the one throwing the accusations and throwing the shade, and I've been the recipient many times. But this was a little bit different because she's now seeing exactly what it's like. So I actually was feeling a little bad for her. I was like, man, like I know that is tough and rough. Also because she looked a little bit surprised by a lot of the things that were being said. So I was like, she's in the dark about a lot of this and she's coming to light with the rest of us.
And then you also had Candiace right there, just like throwing it back at Monique. Do you think she was doing that for Gizelle, or was she just throwing things at Monique because of the situation that's going on with them?
Honey, she was going to jump on any train that was moving. So that was one that she saw an opportunity. And so that's exactly what she did. And, you know, it was really crazy because Candiace was driving me nuts at the reunion. She just kept saying all these things under her breath. And I was like, man, if I wasn't pregnant, girl, you know, it's just like she was instigating so much that she didn't think I could hear, but I could hear. And Monique could too. So we were both over there just like kind of fuming.
No, she was saying it too loud. Like she knew what she was doing.
Yes, you're so right. You're so right. It wasn't even unintentional.
What do you think about the words? You know, words are important. I quote my Michelle Obama. What do you think of words like your pastor boyfriend is slinging his big D all over the congregation and Pastor Holy?
Oh my God, my jaw dropped with those. Oh, you know, Monique has a way with words, honey. Yeah, she has a way with words. And, you know, to be fair to Monique, Gizelle has had a lot of things to say about Chris, and she hasn't always been the kindest from the beginning. I mean, Monique had a really tough time coming into this group in the beginning. So Gizelle has to understand that it's par for the course, that simply because she has really thrown it at Monique, she, you know, this is a boomerang. Everything that happens on Housewives is a boomerang, and it will come back to you.
Now, Ashley, I want to know, like, what do you believe?
Unfortunately, I do think there is some truth to it, which is really hard because, again, like, not even just thinking about Gizelle, but I think about her daughters, and I'm like, gosh, they have to really watch this and see that their dad is doing this on national television. That's really challenging. So I do think there's some truth to it, but exactly how Gizelle will handle it and whatever they choose to do, I mean, you know, relationships, especially ones that have that much longevity, they've been together for so long. The intricacies are very unique to everyone, as I can attest to my marriage too, not being very traditional. So however Gizelle and Jamal choose to handle it, I just hope that they're both really happy. seriously, not just putting up a front, for their kids or for the public.
As you said,
Seriously.
every marriage is different. So I do want to talk about our moment number 3, which is just teasing the rest of these reunions, because we already got so much on episode 1, but we still have 2 more episodes, and I feel like it's just going to get more and more crazy.
Okay, so we were there for 11 hours, I would say. And it didn't feel like that. It felt like we were there for 30 minutes because so much had happened. Every time we moved past one subject, something else picked up. And then when the husbands came out, it was a whole different ball game. Michael wasn't there. His godson got married, so he was there. But it was a crazy, crazy day. Okay.
I'm disappointed Michael wasn't there, because then you are kind of left to protect your marriage on your own, which is like tough.
But honestly, girls, like, I can hold my own. Okay. Like, this is nothing new to me. And any questions that came, because they did come quite a bit. I can hold my own. I don't really need my husband there to back me up. I can handle it.
I want to know your honest reaction when you saw this, when they tease Michael pinching the producer's ass. What did you think about that when you first saw it?
So that happened season 1, and that was from season 1, and that producer he was like my segment producer, so he was in my life every single day. We talked every day. He was at my house all the time. He was asking Michael and I questions about our marriage. He was being very playful. Like, it was a playful relationship. And so when that happened, something had definitely happened prior where, I don't know if the producer said something, but they did have a playful relationship then. I mean, I'm talking like asking really personal questions, I guess, to help us feel more comfortable with the process in the beginning. So the relationship was not typical. Like, it was playful. It was joking. Michael meant no harm. He knew Michael didn't mean any harm. So that was the beginning of this process, when we thought that everyone was like actually, just having fun and joking around, and not everyone has the best intentions.
So you weren't shocked?
I mean, I wasn't shocked. No, I mean, like,
okay. I get it. It depends on the people involved. So, like you said, you had this playful relationship, so it didn't shock you.
It wasn't a serious, like, my husband was sexually attracted to him. It was a joking, playful thing. And, I thought he knew that, but apparently, you'll see in the reunion, I guess, like,
Because I was going to say, I know you're not shocked by that because you knew the friendship, you knew that, but were you shocked that it was brought up? You said it was from season 1. Now,
yes.
A couple of seasons have passed. It's brought up. How did you feel when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, it surprised me because I was thinking that's something that I would have expected to happen earlier or should have been seen earlier. Yes. So that did surprise me. You're right. The timing of it. But I also realized that no matter what, there's always going to be something that could potentially arise.
Well, I think it's time, ladies, we need to have our waters raised.
Okay.
Because, we have a quiet mama over here, but we're going to play Sip or Spill, Ashley. So we have a lot of burning questions that the Bravo fans just want to know. But if you don't want to spill, you can take a little sip of water. Okay. But we hope
all right.
We hope you spill. Okay.
Okay.
So, we'll cheers with our water.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
Okay. So the first question kind of is going off of what we just talked about with Michael with that video that just popped up. There's always, I feel like there's allegations around your husband's sexuality over the past couple of years, including allegations made by your co-stars, by the people that you work with all the time. Hearing that, has that like questioned your relationship? Has that questioned your marriage? Like, how does that come into play with the two of you?
It does not make me question my husband, mainly because we have a very open relationship. when it comes to our discussions. We are very communicative about what we want sexually, what we expect from each other. The only thing that changed was when I got pregnant, and that sort of changed our dynamic. But no, we've always been very open about it. If that were something that Michael wanted, he would definitely have told me. And all of the receipts that those people said they had of Michael never panned out to be Michael. So it's like, I think people just needed a storyline and something to talk about. And Michael, being a very vocal person, he kind of makes himself a target for it.
When you say you guys have an open relationship, do you feel the need to kind of explain that to people? Because that could mean, you've admitted you had some kind of entanglement with a woman before, whether, I don't know if it was a relationship or a hookup or whatever.
I love that word.
Yes, me too.
Do you feel like you need to explain that? Like, because everyone, these days, especially, people are obsessed with sexuality. They want to know, who do do you sleep with men? Do you sleep with women? How does it work in your marriage? Like, what is that for you?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I feel the need to just clarify it simply because I'm not ashamed of it. And I appreciate that I do have the opportunities to talk about it and be open about it. I had a really good discussion with Bronwyn from the Real Housewives of Orange County. And we kind of discussed just how, like, it's not anyone's prerogative to care about how your marriage is. And if it's not necessarily the cookie cutter version of what a marriage should be, then that's just your business. So I don't mind talking about it. I'm very happy to discuss it. I have shared with the ladies about some of my escapades. So, I'm very proud of it. I come from an open family. My mom knows about everything. I usually call my mom, like, whenever I've done something. So she knows everything that I've ever done.
Aww.
Yes. Some things I'm sure she wishes she didn't know.
And so,
go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go, Laura.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sure we're actually going to say the same thing because that's what happens every time. But speaking of Bronwyn, though, like you just said, you talked to her. She has come out with this open marriage. She's actually dating a woman. And I feel like, she's finally herself. Like, I talked to her a couple of weeks ago and she was just so happy. And she was so happy that she was able to, like, say, hey, I don't have an unconventional marriage. Like, we have an open marriage. Do you ever see yourself, like, going in a direction of more of like an open marriage? Or
as for my relationship, that's not really something that I foresee myself doing, especially right now, being in this nest building mode that I'm in. I have even a different perception of monogamy, and Michael and I, like, we are more communicative now with the second baby than we were the first time. I really am focusing on my home base, and I don't really have the desire to be with anyone else. And Michael, he agrees. And if he does have that desire, well, he knows where the door is.
Okay. I like that, Ashley. We're taking charge.
I mean,
so
it
Bronwyn
too.
Bronwyn actually, like, said she was a lesbian. She has defined herself, her sexuality. She said, I'm a lesbian. This is who I am. Do you feel like you need to define your sexuality in any way, bi, lesbian, fluid, whatever, whatever is comfortable for you?
I've always been vocal about it. It's been something that I knew since the first kiss I ever had was with a girl. So I've been very open about and in touch with who I am. And my family is open and receptive to it. So I'm not a lesbian, but if I find someone attractive, I'm more like what do they call it now? Fluid. I'm a little more fluid, we'll say.
I love it.
Yeah.
We like it, Ashley.
I love it.
Thank you.
I feel like we could talk about this for so long because you are just so open. And I think as a viewer, like, we really appreciate that because we want to be able to connect with you. And so I know as a viewer, I love it. So thank you for being so open.
Thank you. And that's why I do it, honestly. I love to entertain you. I love to, if you agree or disagree with me, I'm just happy that you're enjoying it ultimately.
Exactly. Okay, so now we're going to do another question because I think that's just one question, not a whole one. Okay, so sip or spill. Do you like having Wendy the newcomer, on the show?
Okay, this one I will say yes, actually. I actually enjoy Wendy. Even though we have our share of differences and things do escalate between us as the reunion goes on. But yeah, ultimately, I think she's a very intelligent woman. I love what she stands for. I love that she shares her culture. I think that's great. You know,
That's so bold of you after, like, I don't know, not necessarily bold, but it's really, you know, she came at you this season.
Yeah.
So for you to kind of accept her and still take the high road on that, and see her obviously great, you know, I really like Wendy as well. I commend you, because it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because we had a disagreement doesn't mean that I want to throw her out with the bathwater. So hopefully our relationship will continue to evolve.
Point blank, whose side are you on? Monique or Candiace?
Well, I mean, it was wrong. Okay, like it was wrong. It was so wrong, and that's what I feel internally. But ultimately, Monique is my friend. I love her. I'll support her. I have her back. It's a really tough road, man. It's tough, especially being on the receiving end of all the stuff Monique is getting. It's really rough. So I'm 100% there for her.
Are you good enough? Are you so there for Monique that you are willing to pet sit T'Challa?
Honey, oh my gosh, that's another thing. At the reunion, I walked into Monique's room and I'm like just walking in casually, and then I didn't see that T'Challa was like literally right here. And when I saw that bird, honey, I was like, Monique, do not make me go into labor, okay? It is too early. That bird scared the bejesus out of me. And you know, she says he's kind and nice, but I'm not a bird fan, okay? Like he's cute and stuff from afar.
Who is a bird fan? what
Monique. I mean,
it's weird. It's weird.
I mean, he swoops in. He'll like swoop in. Like I'm like, is he looking for prey or something? Monique says he's just coming to land on her shoulder or something, but I don't know. I feel like he has ulterior motives.
Honestly, Monique with her binder and her bird, it's just like she's giving us a vibe.
It's a whole.
I'm here for it. I love it. I mean, I love it. Yeah, I eat it up.
Well, Emily, I think that wraps up this episode of Housewives Nightcap. I'm just like gonna pull my binder out again because we got so much tea, and I'm just gonna write it all down because I'm keeping a binder.
Lauren, I'm gonna get a binder myself because Monique gave us the tip to keep all the tea together in one place. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. We are here weekly. Tune in next week.